Welcome to the review of Warren Middle-earth. This is Melbourne House's version, which was released in 1988. The game starts with a brief preface of the story. Warren Middle-earth is a unique combination of real-time strategy, adventure, and role-playing. In fact, it is one of the first real-time strategy games ever created for a computer system. The three genres blend together fantastically. The game has 3 levels in the hierarchy on which you can view characters. This is the detailed view, where here we can see Frodo, Pippin, and Sam. There's also a higher level view by clicking this icon here. This is the middle layer map. Anything that you can control flashes on the screen. Here you see Frodo, Sam, and Pippin grouped in one icon. These other icons here are the Nazguls. The Nazguls should be avoided at all costs. By moving the mouse toward the edge of the screen, the map will scroll. By left-clicking on various objects and positions, you can see information. Here is a magnifying glass which lets you view details. The game has quite a few irritating bugs. For example, here we tried to magnify one of the Nazgul, and it ends up showing nothing. This time we click on the hobbits, and the hobbits always walk from the left side of the screen to the right side. There's also an icon on the right there with the glove with a potion that allows you to take objects, put objects down, and use an object. The eye icon allows you to see the status of the individual selected. The game has many random and prearranged encounters. Here we run across Radagast. Typically, the encounters will just offer some bogus information that you don't really care about. And their advice at the end is even worse. You just say, oh, whatever, and then you just keep going. For some reason, the characters always walk from left to right on the detailed view. The graphics are surprisingly smooth, especially for being released in 1988. Here's a highest level view of the land. You can see flashing blue icons, which are units you can control. There's also a little hourglass here on the right, which allows you to control how quickly the time passes. Normal can be terribly slow, but it gives you time to think. The scroll icon allows you to save the game. At the highest level, if you click the eye icon, you basically see all your units on the left side and any significant units on the right side of the evil forces. We can see 3 flashing blue dots from up here, so let's go take a look. Faramir with 200 rangers. By clicking the red arrow and selecting the unit, and then clicking on a destination, the units will start to move. Some units you cannot move. For example, here we're trying to move some units, and it says the force will not accept your orders. You can zoom in on large armies. For example, there's 120 cavalry here. The game won't show all the units if you zoom in on a large army, and for good reason. Later we'll show how irritating it can be trying to click on one of the real characters. Sometimes the army units get in the way. Let's go give our hobbits some direction. As you can see, the unit is flashing at a slow pace. The mouse works surprisingly well, and it's fairly easy to control the characters. There are quite a few number of bugs, as I mentioned earlier. For example, here we're trying to view an item that Radagast told us about earlier that supposedly is to the west of this town here. Well, obviously we just zoomed in and we don't see it there. So sometimes you find yourself trying to click around on the map, trying to get to a specific point, and damn it, still didn't get it. So then you have to wait for this music to continue to play. Even though I clicked the icon, I have to wait for it to end. There we go. Third time's a charm. Go just a little bit west. Sure enough, there it is. There's the scepter that he was talking about. One of the problems with this game is a lot of times you have no clue what these objects are used for. Of course, now with the internet you can simply do a quick search and find out what they are, but in 1988 no one had a clue, and they're scattered randomly throughout the land. There's a blue potion in the middle of this town. Why would you just run all the way over on that side of the map? The graphics are especially good for a game released in 1988, and the terrain and background is unbelievable at times. As mentioned earlier, you can adjust the speed in which time passes. You'll notice the units start flashing quicker, and the time at the bottom of the screen changes more rapidly. Just be careful with very hasty. Sometimes it's way too fast. Here's an interesting thing in the game. Anytime an event occurs, a little dialog box pops up at the top and asks you if you want to go there or continue. Here we said go there, so it takes you immediately to the detailed view. Sometimes during battles they'll just take you to the battle sequence. The game really does try to remain true to Tolkien's story. Here we can see Isengard, protected by various hand orcs, Uruk-hai, and others. 10,000 orcs here. They're placed in specific places that you would expect them to be according to the story. Here we're just going to continue to ignore that message. And that's the ultimate goal right there, Mount Doom. You'd think you'd expect more than that on the detailed view, but oh well. The goal is to get Frodo or whoever has the ring down to Mount Doom to destroy it. There is another way to win the game, and that's by killing Sauron. Here's some graphics of some orcs in the main gate. You don't have to go this way, of course. There's hundreds of different ways you can win the game, going all kinds of different paths. Part of the fun of this game is how it has such a personal level and feels like an adventure game. Here are hobbits resting by a campfire. Now that it's daytime, you can actually watch them walk across the screens. The backgrounds change to the vast colors and trees and stones. Watching at this level can be excruciating, but it also gives it the adventure feel. No matter how fast you set the timeline on the second or third level, the adventurers don't walk any faster at the detail level. Let's speed this up a little bit. Here we go, Frodo's finally reached Buckland, and he meets Merry. By clicking follow Frodo, Merry will simply follow the